I'm Gary, and I just got here. Today will be the third day working on FT Simple Scout, our live build, and let me pull up the stream so that I can see what everybody's saying when they start joining. I did download the software to program the receiver, and I happen to have another receiver, so I grabbed that and programmed it. Nice. All right, let's do this. All right. Says I'm live, so hopefully some people can see me. All right, I see Dasherly Dave, Robert, and Kevin are all on. Thank you guys. It says 8 are watching now. So if I click this, I can see who the participants are. I see Robert, Randy, Kevin, and Dave, and Dan Newlands. So that's awesome. I'm gonna slide this window. If I can get there we go. And then slide it off the side so I can see it. Instead of trying to stare way over the other side of the TV, I'll have it right here next to me. That'll help. So today, what I wanted to start with was the power pod. Nice, Randy's building too. That's awesome. I got a box knife here, and they tell you to dull the edge. I think he actually tells you to take it and grind it down on the floor. I'm gonna leave mine sharp because I use it for other stuff too. Just gotta make sure you don't go clear through the paper underneath, because all we're trying to do is remove the material here between these two pieces. And on the older kits, they marked everything, A and B folds, and I think this is the only piece that they marked on this one. That's awesome, Kevin. Thanks for letting me know that it's a good audio and video. There could be some lag. I did set it for low, but hopefully it isn't too bad. You guys, I don't know if you guys can see the chat box. Whiskey at Heights. Nice, Rob. I'm missing out on football with the guys, but that's okay because I'm building with you guys after a nice long drive to Kentucky. If you guys watched the video earlier, I flew at the home field for the RC Sailors today, which the last time I was down there, I joined that club. So, yeah, nice. I did wear this today when I was down there, and what's crazy is they showed up while I was there. I didn't even get them to come. They showed up on their own, and it was pretty cool. And they stuck around to watch me fly. And they were planning on doing something else, but it was too nasty for them. So, and another gentleman from the club just happened to show up while I was there, and I didn't expect to see anybody while I was there. That was kind of interesting. So I'm just removing this material right here, and then we're going to put glue in. You put the glue right here on this piece, and then fold it over on top of that for this is part of the power pod. And then we'll put the firewall, as he says on the video, the A kind of points towards the end that's cut at an angle. The angle's there to compensate for the torque of the motor. And I do need that because I'm using Flight Test motor here, and it's a 2212. So it's got a little more power, plus it can run 4S, and I do plan on trying to do 4S. We still going, guys? I don't see any more chat. Oh, well, thank you, Justin. All right, so that's all I got to do. Like that. And glue that. And I got the glue gun hot. I did bind this receiver already to the radio, made sure all the servos were centered up and everything. And I went and found, if you remember, there was this funny looking, I don't know if you guys can see that real good or not, but this funny control arm for where the rod's supposed to slide for the steering. So I had to find another one. I did find one to use in replacement of that. I have lots and lots of spares from over the years, and this is just the small ones. I have a lot more. He said to go about 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch from the end. So I'm gonna hit it right. Here we go. I might have got a little closer. And I'm putting it on a little thick. This part takes the most beating for me. So, oh yeah, let's just do one side at a time. And then what you do is you just roll it over. You want to hold that nice and straight. You can use this 90-degree thing. Just like that. Takes about 45 seconds for the glue to cool down. Yeah, this thing's going to have some power. Hopefully it'll fly on 4S. If not, you know, I have other motors I can put on here and put a smaller, but I want it to have some power and see what I can do with this thing. Oh, video locked up. Is everybody else locked up? Or is everybody else okay? Okay, perfect. All right, so there's one side. We'll glue the other side. Gluing on the wing part here. That way it glues to the top of the block here. Just like that. Another 90 degrees. Hold that for a few seconds. Glad you made it back, Kevin. All the iPad locked up. Nice. All right, guys. So that's that. And then, like I said, this end is cut at a slight angle, I believe. So it's for the torque of the motor. So we got to make sure this piece goes down here, and I'm going to put it on just like this, and then right through here is where I'm going to tuck the wires for the speed controller. And we don't really use these two holes because they put, I hope that's right. Say, Gary. Dehedral. I think it has dehedral. Was I not supposed to do that, Dan? I didn't see any other instructions on not doing that, so that's a bummer, but I already did it, so it's gonna stay like that. Well, So I know you push this back against the wall and then feed the skewers through the side. Right there. It looks like, so when I do that, say, the short circuit is your name Tim? I was always trying to figure out people's names and I can't always remember them. But it looks like when I put this on there, this will hit the top if I don't put it down there. Well, I'm gonna put it on like this. I think that will work. And then they tell you to put some tape over it. So I need a piece that'll wrap around the sides. So let's see. I'll make sure I can get that out of there. Down or up. So I think I'll put it up. Might have to cut that off. I don't know. It says to put a healthy amount on here. So big bead all the way around. He makes a pretty good mess out of this. We're going to put glue over top of it before it's even cooled down. So just like this. That looks about right. He says the glue isn't the strength. He says the tape is. So we're going to put the tape on there. And I think about that much. And then right like that. He wants me to pull it down tight. Just like that. And then he smooths this out. It looks like I didn't do great, but I did it. Perfect. It's Tim. I thought I knew it was Tim, but I couldn't remember for sure. Got to cut these corners out because we're going to fold it in. Fold one side in. This. Fold it over. Then he fold this end in. And then this side over on top of it. Like that. I don't know if we need to worry about the bottom, but that's what I'm going to do. And then he cuts all of this off, I think, just for the sake of it. We'll just fold it in. I don't think it'll hurt anything. Just like that. And then we got this all taped up. They only put these 2 screws right here in, but I'm gonna put all 4 of them in. Don't see any reason why not to. So, especially with the 4S, might be better to have all 4 screws in there. He tells you to remove this, but I noticed that the motor that I'm going to mount here doesn't have a shaft that sticks out the back to bind up on the tape. But I removed it anyway. See, it's all smooth. The shaft doesn't stick out. Yeah. There's a lot of glue on the other airplanes, that is for sure. So one thing that's important here is the holes on the motor aren't equal distance. And if you can see on this pattern, this one and this one's farther apart than these two. Plus, so since these are the farther away ones, also need to make sure these wires can go through that hole, which I need to cut that one out too, I guess. You know, just make it so it pushes down. That's good enough. That way these will just feed through there. Do one at a time because the hole's not big enough for all 3 of them to go through at the same time. And since typically I think you would go ahead and put some Loctite on these screws when you screw this down, I am not going to take the time to do that. Chances of this motor being on there long enough for the screws to come loose isn't good. I'll probably crash it before they ever come loose. So just like this. And then he also mentions in the build video to make sure you use the shortest screws. So I have the shorter screws here, and then I have they say, he talks about their package comes with an Allen wrench to put these in. In fact, they have a much different looking screws and everything because of the maybe we are going to just do two. Anyways, he talks about, or the screws he's using are a whole lot different looking because of it being a different motor. This is a newer motor than the build video that they released. But this is the one that they sell in their kit. I don't want to get that all the way tight because I need to get the bottom one started too, which that might be a struggle for me. I might need to find an Allen wrench. You know what I had? So this isn't the right thing, but it's a T8 to get me started instead of an Allen. I have to figure out which one is the right size and find the right Allen wrench here. Get this to sit straight. Some hot glue, fix everything. I can't get it to start the threads. Well, let's see. We'll do the outside ones, maybe that'll help. Back this one back out. Maybe that'll work better. So I must have missed something. Somebody's trying to get a drone out of a tree. That sounds like a bummer. Well, I got big hands and this can be challenging for me. There we go, got that one through the tape. There we go. Let's try it again with these outside too. Oh. Because of the bend in the wires, giving me heck. But I know it's got to be in there first. I think that one started. One definitely isn't started because it came back out. Hey Alan, nice to see you made it. started now. So I got them both started. I might be able to get it. Oh, that's pretty tight. Get these wires down out of the way just a little bit. He mentions in his video that the #1 reason for messing motors up, at least in their warranty department, probably is the screws going through and hitting the coils of the motor. And I can see down through here that it's nowhere close. And that one's good too. So no problem. Motor's on there and it's solid. So that's the power pod. And then, of course, here's the ESC that I'm going to use. And the bullets that were on the new motor matched up with this spine. Oh, I unplugged that. So we're supposed to, after we get this connected, turn on transmitter, plug this back in. Like that. And I got a battery right here. Transmitter's on, throttle's down. No prop. Never want the prop on there. All right, now it's important that it spins this way, counterclockwise. So it's spinning the wrong way. So we'll change two of these. Just like that. And now it should spin the other way. Good. Remove the battery. Turn the radio back off. So now the ESC is connected up to the motor. The motor is mounted to the firewall. Boy, it's got a long plug. Plenty of wire here. We'll unplug this from here for now. But this part's done and ready to install into the plane once I get the bottom done. You guys see that airplane back there? That's one of my next projects. It's a Yak 55. Not too long ago, nice. Yeah, poor Vikings. Those 49ers were a good team this year. So we need to put the bottom on, and I feel pretty solid about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the turning servo on top and the elevator servo right here on the side, which means this notch right here in the bottom I'm not going to use. So I'll need to put another one up here on top for the control horn. So we'll make another incision up here to connect to this servo. So we got these really long ones. For now, I'll just take this small one to measure out where I want to put it. We're going to put it something like right just ahead of the tail, I think, just to keep the control lines nice and short. So something like this, I guess. And the push rods are in this bag. The Bills fan. I'm a Bills fan, that's for sure. They did okay. Always room for improvement, but so I'll make this as short as I can. Won't use this one. Well, that ain't gonna work. Wrong way. So like that. And then I have some of those easy connects, so I might end up putting those on here. So I'll wait on that, but let's go ahead and make the opening for the servo. Right here. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Just like that. I'll make it a little bit longer, of course. About there. And then just like that. Make sure you don't have your fingers sticking through the bottom when you poke the knife through. All this is going to get covered up with the glue. And the servo. Let's see what that looks like. Still going to be just a hair small. I did that on purpose, of course. And by doing this before we put the bottom on, it leaves me I'm able to reach through the bottom. Right, so just like that, we have that, and then I still have the screws in there, but the arm will go on there like this. And then this part, we put it on the outside hole of the servo arm, like that. And then it'll just go like this and connect up to the, it'll kind of, when I get that all hooked up, I'll know exactly where I want to put the slot and the rudder to hook that up. But now we need to put one down here, and I want to put it almost as far back as I can so it's nice and stiff. So I'm thinking right about here and a little bit of an angle. We'll use that same one again, but I want to put it something like right there. And make sure there's plenty of room there. So I'm just gonna put it maybe almost all the way up, because the arm needs to be lined up with the slot. So just right there looks good. Let's see. looks like a pretty decent line. And then just gonna make it, whoops, right there. And if you didn't watch the last video, the reason I'm putting servos in a different place, because they tell you to put them down inside here and just glue it to the side of the wall. This will make them just a little bit stronger where they don't, I've had them pull, the glue pull loose, and I don't want that to happen. So, clean this hole up just a little bit. I'm going to have it set up with the wire going towards the front. And need to open it up just a hair bit more. That side's, so the length is fine, but it's a little too narrow. So I want to trim it towards the fuselage just a little bit, or towards the tail, I mean. Let me get this in there, just like that. There it came out. Wire towards the front, just like that. Nice and snug, and then I'll just glue that in place like that. Pretty good. That's what I want. Oh, you ain't gotta worry about tail heavy. I'm gonna have so much glue on the front end of this thing. I think with the 4-cell battery, I'm gonna have plenty of weight in the front. If not, I'll figure it out. The wing does have spots to check the CG, so I'll have it all good before we're all done. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and use the ones with the longest wires for this part, just so I can go ahead and glue them in. So we'll just go ahead and feed that in there. That one's in. A little piece of paper. And the other long one right here with the wire towards the front. Like that. And we'll go ahead and glue those in place. And so just lift them up just a little bit. We're going to shoot a little glue right here in the side, on each side, of course. And then just push it down into the glue. Just enough to go. If that doesn't hold, then we'll go back around it with more glue. But it should be good enough. They're in there pretty tight. I almost feel like they would stay without glue. They're in there pretty snug. But this'll help. There we go. Now they're both in there. And these are plenty long to come up to a receiver. And this needs to go in here. So need to This needs to open up just a little bit. So I'm gonna push it down in there like that. There we go. Just like that. Good. Doesn't catch on anything. So we'll glue that in place. Pull that back out. Glue, push out the top just a little bit. That's all there is to that. And that one will connect up to this servo, like I said. And then for this one, I need to do the slot just like this up here in the top, right here. So I like, nice. Hey Abby. I haven't checked lately to see who all's watching. Participants. Found Abby, Kevin, and Tim. That's alright. People will like watching these after I get done too. I'm going to hold this on there for a straight edge while I cut it. I'm going to put it right about there. And you want it right up here close to the hinge line. I might have went a little too long, but we're going to fill it full of glue anyways, so just feed that in through there. Just like that. And then we'll probably need, well, it looks like it's working. So just like that, I'll glue that in place. And as far as the rudder goes, for me, it's kind of just nice to have. I don't use it a whole lot. It'll mostly be ailerons and the elevator. But now that's there, I can get push rods trimmed and hooked up. We got all this on there. So let's go ahead and put the bottom on. Like this. So it's just going to go just like that, and these little marks need to be right. Like that. Just fold right there. Now I have to go back and watch this part of the video again, but there's a cut line and stuff. But we'll glue the back on Oh, let me think about this for a split second, because I'm sure I can remember it. This goes on there. One up here's got a folds over or down. It's going to glue down. I'll have to rewatch that. I can't remember how that works, but we'll get it all the way up to here on there because I want it stiffened up. Probably putting too much glue on here. That. It's just kind of holding that bottom part on. Kind of messy, guys. This part is definitely messy. Set it down on the table to hold that. He does mention to move it around so that if the glue is coming out and onto the table, it doesn't stick. Did you tape those wire connectors? I haven't connected anything yet. So the wire connectors. These wires are straight to the servo still, and so I'm not exactly sure what you meant, but those will just come out through the opening here to hook up. We're gonna glue this part down on the bottom here. This is where I made the mistake earlier, but it looks like it'll be all right. Let's throw some glue down. On this part, I glue here too. This part right here gets cut out for the landing gear, so it doesn't need glue. I'm putting way too much on, obviously. That's how I roll. Too much glue. I'll throw this down on there, and it'll slide down in there to the glue on the sides. And this little scraper thing, take off some of the excess so it's not burning my fingers. Just like that. And then we'll hold it down to the table again. Got the square here to make sure it's square and all that. Right, so they were kind of like special ones out of that F14, so that's why I used the longer ones for the tail, so I didn't have to put extra extensions on there. Now I'll probably have to use some for the ailerons, and I'll tape those, just like you said. These were taped in the F14. I wish I could remember how this was connected up. So So this part glues down like this, but I don't remember what they had going on with the front end here. Unless they removed these two pieces and then folded over, I think. That sounds right, actually. So I should have trimmed this. I'll remove this material here. Like that. This, and then and I'm going to cut this clear through like that. That did not do what I expected it to do, but these glue down on the sides. For some reason I thought that maybe that was all supposed to come out of there. And that was all supposed to tape or glue down. So we'll glue all this down just like that. Just like that. This little scraper dude. Clean up some of that glue that I just made everywhere. Like that. And then we're going to hold it on the front end like this. Get that glue to dry down in there. Right? She was in and out. That's okay. Alright, so now this part's all glued down. And then these pieces get glued down. I was supposed to leave all that together, I think. They glue this over to clean up those edges, to make them look pretty. And I'm going to do that too. This part folds clear over like this. So I'll start with that. I just kind of remember that now. So just like that. And I got this thing here. I'll just use that to hold it so it doesn't burn my fingers. It's still pretty hot. Glue coming out of there. Got a little too much in there, I guess. But it looks like it's in there good now. I got a feeling this is all going to be open when I get done for the battery. I thought, man, I should grab one of the other ones and see what it looks like. Well, we'll go ahead and I'll keep moving. It's easy to cut material out. Just like that. Time is it, guys? 9:21. I'm gonna go about 9 more minutes, I think, and then we'll call it a night. So getting some pretty decent progress here, guys. Fuselage is almost completely done. Might as well pop these out. They're starting to fall out anyways. This is where the wing will go in. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think decorating it's gonna be the best part. I'm gonna have a good time with that. Now that I've done this, I'm gonna go ahead and glue these on too. They just go right here. So just a little glue here and here. Just push that on there. Like that. We'll get this one on there too. And all this is for when I put that cardboard, the turtle thing or whatever they call that. This is just to help it stand up around the cockpit here. And then there's a piece right here. We'll glue on there. We'll just throw a little glue right here. This one here, you got to make sure it stays right at the front edge. All right, Justin. Or Dan, whoever's leaving. See you, Dan. Just like that. And this is where it wrapped under. So we'll get just a little bit in there. Try this again. This piece here. Well, maybe I didn't get any under there. Try it again. There we go. Yeah, I bought that one at the Flight Test at the Flight Fest event. I liked it when I saw that them using it, and I was like, man, I better just get me one while I was there. I can't remember how much they charged for them, but it's a good one, that's for sure. All right. So now all these pieces are glued in, servos are in. I have the whole bottom on. It ended up looking, it didn't turn out as good as I would have liked, but it's going to be on the bottom, so it won't be as noticeable. Nice, $52. And that sounds about what I was thinking. I just didn't want to say it out loud and be wrong. So just like that, landing gear is going to go right here. So I'll cut this section out, and between these lines, it's got to slide in there. Just like that. That's not, I got clear through. Oops. There we go. So this part, this is where when I get the landing gear bent, it'll push in right through here. Right into the groove. Just like that. So, and then also there's a little line right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this wire that we got to bend for the landing gear actually sits down in there to help stiffen that whole structure up. So just like that. So that's, but we're getting there. I mean, wings done, fuselage is almost done. Put that turtle thing on there. I think I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter. It comes back to like here. I was thinking about making it a little bit shorter, but I might still leave it just the way it is. But it's coming right along. I think 1 or 2 more videos and we'll have it complete. And then not too long, February 4th for sure, we'll fly this thing. And yeah. I do appreciate you guys supporting the videos and the channel and all that. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up and leave some great comments. As always, I'm Gary, and I just got here.